The dim lights of the subway flickered as the last train of the night rattled down the tracks. An eerie stillness settled in the nearly empty car, interrupted only by the soft hum of the train and the occasional squeak of wheels against rails. Most of the passengers had already departed, leaving behind a handful of late-night stragglers, eyes heavy with fatigue and minds dulled by the monotony of their commutes. As the train approached the next station, the doors slid open with a hiss, and a group of homeless individuals shuffled in. Their presence was not uncommon, yet something felt different tonight. Their eyes, usually downcast and weary, now glinted with a sinister light. A tall man with a tattered coat led them, his eyes burning with an unnatural intensity. Among the regular passengers was Sarah, a young woman returning from a late shift. She sensed the change immediately, a chill creeping up her spine as the homeless individuals spread out, muttering incoherently. The leader's eyes met hers, and a malevolent smile twisted his lips. "You're not alone tonight," he whispered, his voice like a rasping breath from the depths of the underworld. Sarah's heart pounded. She tried to avert her gaze, but it was too late. The man's eyes bored into hers, and she felt an icy tendril of fear coil around her heart. The others began to move closer, their murmurs growing louder, forming a dissonant chorus that echoed through the car. "They see you," one of them hissed, leaning in too close, the stench of decay emanating from his breath. "They know your fears." The lights flickered again, casting grotesque shadows on the walls. Sarah glanced around desperately, but the few other passengers were either oblivious or too frightened to intervene. The possessed homeless circled her like vultures, their voices a cacophony of despair and madness. "You cannot escape," another crooned, her voice dripping with malice. "They are always watching." Sarah's breath quickened, her eyes darting to the emergency button. She lunged for it, but a claw-like hand seized her wrist, nails digging into her flesh. The leader's face was inches from hers, his eyes swirling with an unholy darkness. "Join us," he whispered, and she felt a force pulling at her soul, a darkness threatening to consume her. The subway car seemed to distort, reality warping as the demonic presence grew stronger. Shadows writhed on the walls, shapes of unspeakable horror clawing their way into the dim light. With a burst of adrenaline, Sarah yanked her hand free and slammed her fist onto the emergency button. An alarm blared, piercing the oppressive atmosphere. The demons recoiled, their faces contorting with rage. The train screeched to a halt, the doors snapping open. Sarah bolted, sprinting down the platform and into the relative safety of the night. Behind her, the possessed homeless screamed in unison, their cries a haunting wail that echoed through the tunnels. She didn't stop running until she was out of the station, the city's neon lights offering a fragile sanctuary from the darkness below. Sarah never took the subway at night again, but she knew deep down that the demons were still there, lurking in the shadows, waiting for their next victim. The homeless people of the subway were no longer merely down on their luck. They had become vessels of a malevolent force, spreading fear and chaos in the underground labyrinth. And somewhere in the dark recesses of the tunnels, those sinister eyes were still watching, always watching.